Is to Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight, we wrap a busy first week of the season with a second of two on a Monday night between the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he's got some space here. Oh, good move. There he goes left side. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Christian McCaffrey, 81 yards. And the Broncos are on the board here first in the season opener. We thought they may be a quick strike offense this season. That is lightning quick. Not bad for the first drive of the year.
That has to actually exceed expectations, doesn't it? Because most teams want to be a quick strike offense. They want to score as quickly as possible and run a defense into submission. What they have to understand is, while they got it done there, long way to go. Don't get discouraged if you have to run a few more plays on your next drive.
The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Next, the receivers help spread the defense out. They were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
Now, 1 for 1, a lot more to go. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory. Down at the 33. To throw, it's Murray. And that is incomplete.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
On 2nd and 10, Murray. This is intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Broncos will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 88 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. On play action, they'll throw. Looking deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense.
So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the play did on the last one.
Mix it up the middle. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throw caught there by Osborne. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Throwing now is Murray. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. Now left side on the swing pass. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way home for a Broncos score. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. Oh, good return up past the 30. Past midfield. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Now that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung here.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker, and the Broncos are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland's. .62 yards. And the Broncos are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. McManus's point after is good. And it's now 21-0.
Broncos 21, Raiders nothing.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
At their own 12-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. Again, it's Mixon. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42. 21-0 our score after 1. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. A handoff to Mixon.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Murray going to throw. He finds his running back, Mixon. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 43. 12 yards there as they move the chains. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Murray. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Broncos will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. McCaffrey on the counter. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. 174 yards rushing for him in this first half as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. This offense in mid-season form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On the RPO, that's complete right side. Finding space at the 40. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. He'll look to throw. Going deep here for Watkins. And he's got it inside the 10. A huge play there for Denver. 46 yards. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield. And it'll be intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And the Raiders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Nixon will try the right side. A solid stiff arm. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked up by Nate Hobbs. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that potentially an important takeaway here in this 2nd quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
After the turnover, here's Murray. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught at the 30. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Carlson able to put this one through, and that will do it for this first half. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. 79 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Back to Mixon on first down. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It's a pickup of 12. Second play in a row with a 12-yard gain. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so. They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed. Here's a give to Mixon. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for third down. He'll drop to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. That's pulled in at the 32. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And they will take over first and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, It has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On second down, here's Mixon. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40.
113 yards rushing here for Mixon. He's got a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Again, it's Mixon. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Murray off play action. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. Well, that's one way to convert on third down, picking up 26 yards.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be second down.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 10-yard line.
Murray now to throw. Steps away to his left. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Again, they'll throw with Murray. Bulldozes past him. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Mixon is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Another try for Mixon. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Joe Mixon taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Raiders are able to cut into that deficit. Oh, this is blocked. That's a live ball scooped up by the offense. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to let this one go deep. He's got a man complete.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
Hey, they made no bones about it. They wanted to throw this rookie right into the fire, see what he could do. He shows what he can do there.
And you have to really put the time and effort in because playing a receiver in the NFL is a difficult task. And for a rookie, all that you have to learn to get on the same page with your quarterback, that's excellent coaching. And how about how he's picked things up?
Picking things up in a big way with a big play in his NFL debut. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. McCaffrey is not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 3. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Christian McCaffrey with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Broncos are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Extra point from McManus is good, and that will make this a 19-point game. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason is not translated into Week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now. Here's Murray. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Out to his left. And that will be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fielded at about the 28. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Okay, great.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And this has been quite a performance to kick off the new year on the road, no less, as they try to finish things off here in the 4th quarter. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Throwing left side. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion. A handoff left, McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Watkins. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Zero hesitation that time. He just got it and put it out in the right flat. Unfortunately, incomplete.
Well, you know how hard these quarterbacks nowadays work on just getting the ball in their hands and making a quick decision and throwing the football. Didn't work out in this case.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And it's caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people are thinking about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Christian McCaffrey taking it in from a yard out as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. McManus's point after is good, and that will bump the lead up to 26. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And no doubt this is not the way that they had hoped to open their season. Thoroughly outplayed here in front of the national audience. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
Las Vegas, first down. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Now Murray fighting through pressure. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
And now here is another interception. It's Devin White, the linebacker, and the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. McCaffrey running up the middle. And some room to maneuver. And all the way home for a Bronco score. Christian McCaffrey with career touchdown number 109. That ties him with Barry Sanders on the all-time NFL list. And the Broncos start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. Extra point from McManus is good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
pass thrown right back to Joe Mixon.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That's good for 28 yards.
Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
Mixon trying to punch it in. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Here's a run with Mixon. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
One word comes to mind to me after that last play, and that's alert. That defense took a chance guessing the snap count, and they were so right. Got great push up front, and that forces 4th and goal.
And that hits the right upright, but goes in anyway. Oh, friendly bounce there that could have gone either way easily, but he gets it to go. And that will narrow this, if that's even the right word, to a 30-point deficit. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he returns this to the 22.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. He's going to look deep for Watkins. And this one is incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, this was not just the opener of a